And then okay. So good evening, everyone. So a big welcome to Chicky Cecchetelli. He was a former Genovese associate and now turned actor. Hi, Chicky.
Hi, Josie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
let's get started. Hang on. Let me go to the comments first so that people can ask questions and whatever. So there's a movie coming out called Pep, and it's about Guillermo Papaleo.
Right.
They called him Willie Pep, and he was the featherweight champion of the world. Now, how did this happen? How did you?
Well, it was a real lucky event. A dear friend of mine helped me out, and we started getting into acting bug about 3 years ago, but maybe right roughly around the summer of 2019. We were asked to be in an Irish kind of the Westies in New York, kind of like an Irish gangster series. And it was shot in we shot it in Queens, New York, roughly in September, October 2019. And it was basically based the guy who wrote it. I won't get into too much of it because it's still up in the air and it still might be released. We're trying to figure it out. But a friend of mine, Damien Trites, and a bunch of us started making connections with people in the movie business and the series, documentary series business. And we were asked to be in a kind of like a series drama in New York, and we went down for a long weekend and shot it, and it really came out really good. It was our first time acting.
Right.
The guy who put it together wanted kind of to do a concept where real guys from the life, ex whatever, in the life, did jail
Yeah.
time, whatever, some in a very small portion of life and others in a bigger portion of life, come in and they just act, and they kind of act like themselves, and they have a script, and they
Yeah.
tried with no major actors at the time, and we did it, and it really, the parts we did came out incredible. And like I said, there's some technical stuff that went on that it's taken a lot longer than we thought. But if it
Yeah.
does come out and get released someday, I think people are going to be unbelievably pleased.
Yeah.
So
I'd
that
love
was,
to see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the beginning of the whole thing, of what's to come as we talk.
Okay,
Okay.
because the movie Pep is being produced by Leonardo DiCaprio's production company, right? Appian Way.
Happy and
And,
when the new, not that one, the new one now, Pep, new one, Pep, no.
oh, it's not.
Yeah, not the one from 2019, the one we did last November, Pep, the actual Pep is.
Oh,
Movie
okay.
Pep, yes.
That's yeah. Did he come to the set? You mean?
No, he never came to the set. And like, in other words, I was only on the set a total of 3 days, one full day working, and 2 other days, just kind of seeing what was going on. My scene was a whole day, and that was a funny thing in itself. I mean, they had great. I mean, this is really my first time in a big thing. And what happened is, if I give you a little quick, what happened was, um, we showed up on the set early in the morning. We one of my dear friends and my partners in a few things, Damien Trites, he knew a couple of people on the site, and he had we went there that morning. We were invited to the set to check it out, and maybe they need a couple extras or not. So what happened was, we were hit. It was last November. We shot it in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right.
So myself, Damien, and another friend of ours, Brian Hoyle, showed up in case they needed an extra. We brought an extra guy. And what
Right.
happened was is we showed up that early November morning, and they were tested for COVID. and
Right.
our friend Damien comes positive for COVID. So he wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he wasn't even on the set a half an hour. They said, "Listen, you got to leave. You know that's the way it is. They're very strict with that COVID stuff."
Yeah, yeah,
So now keep in mind at the time we're just thinking we're going to get, maybe we'll get a scene when we're sitting in the audience and the camera
yeah.
passes us, and we end up meeting the lead role that plays Willie Pep, who's an incredible actor. His name is James Matteo, and
Okay.
he played in Band of Brothers. He played with he's close friends with Leo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, them guys. Did you ever see the movie Basketball Diaries?
Yeah, bits of it. I didn't watch
Okay,
the whole thing.
when,
Yeah.
when they were kids. Well, William Mad James Matteo is the young kid with the milkshake scene. He's in the movie the whole time with Mark Wahlberg and
Right,
Leonardo DiCaprio. He's one of their young friends.
right,
He actually plays Willie Pep. He's an incredible actor,
right.
and a
And
lot of
you actually play a bookie, right?
yeah, I actually play
Okay.
in a scene. God knows where they got that from, but anyways, yeah, but yeah, I play, I guess, Willie Pep's buddy and a bookie in the scene, like basically the gym bookie. And
Right,
what happened was, so we show up and we meet James Matteo, the guy who plays Willie Pep, to start a movie, and we meet. There's a bunch of other great actors that are part of the Entourage. They're friends with all the Entourage guys from
right.
HBO Entourage.
Oh, I used to love that show. I
Yeah,
love that show.
Jay
Yeah,
Gioni, and they're constantly doing work with these guys, all the guys from Entourage, and they're
right.
and so anyways, we're there and we meet James Matteo, we meet the director, and he's seen me, and I'm a bigger guy, and I'm kind of a little bit flamboyant, and the guy
Yeah,
goes, listen. He met me and he goes, listen, we're going to use you somewhere else. We're not going to just be a scene where the camera's passing you. So I said, oh, all right,
right.
whatever. I go, whatever you need me. So now I
Yeah,
go from a guy who's going to be in the audience just passing to now he's
yeah.
telling me, we're going to use you. And at that point, I don't know what.
Oh,
So,
wow.
right. So my friend Brian's with me, and he's got a real graspy voice. Like when he talks, it's like a voice you don't. He'd be a perfect guy to read, like books. When they read the books and you listen to the read books, he's got that
Right.
graspy voice. So he
Yeah,
says hi. I says, hey, listen, I brought another guy. If you're interested in using him, he's
yeah,
here. So my friend
yeah.
Brian goes, hey, how you doing? He's got that real graspy, deep voice, and they go, listen, perfect. We got you. We're going to use you too for something else.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, so we're laughing and we say, "Hey, great! We'll see what happens." It's our first time, and we're meeting. There's a lot of actors there that were on Bronx Tale,
Yeah,
D'Onofrio. A lot of different actors are there that from Bronx Tale and from a lot of different
right,
movies that are working in the movie. So we got to
right.
meet them and eat lunch with them and everything. And
Yeah.
it's a big thing when it's a professional thing. You got
Well,
uh,
yeah.
you know,
Wow.
yeah, you got different rooms with makeup. You got different rooms with clothing, old fashioned cigars, glasses,
Right.
whatever you need. They put you in for the night because it got to be set in the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And so, anyways, we're there all afternoon. We're waiting. And finally, the director comes up to us and he says, "Listen, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to go on at 3. So get down." And they brought us down to makeup. They wanted to cover up all our tattoos because you can't have tattoos,
Yeah,
especially
this picture here, uh,
exactly right.
that's what she's doing.
Oh,
The
there,
girl,
yeah, yeah. That's the picture right there.
not that one, the other one.
They're
Yeah,
covering my hand tattoos, and
yeah,
James Matteo's right there in the blue.
yeah. I
Uh,
see him in the back
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he plays Willie Pep. They're busting his face up with
Oh,
makeup.
cool. He actually looks like him a little bit, don't he?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when you
For the
when you see
picture.
the black and white pictures of him, it could be a twin. It could be his twin brother.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. He
yeah.
looks
So,
just.
yeah, that's one of the advertisements
I'm
they
gonna
had up.
put Willie
Yeah.
Pep up because I mean, to be honest, I hadn't heard of him. But so when's it coming out? When do
Well,
you
right
know?
now they said this is what they're saying, but what I'm learning more and more is in this kind of industry, which I really don't know much about it, but I know when they say it's coming out, it always is after. Nothing is when they
Right.
say, but they're
Yeah.
saying sometime in the fall, like it should be all ready to go in the fall, and it's just a matter of if it's going to be a motion picture, it's going to be Netflix. A lot of
Yeah.
things go on Netflix now. A lot of things go right to they
Yeah,
stream.
they do. But it'd be nice if it's a motion picture. Uh,
Exactly.
wouldn't it? That would be great. So,
Right.
have you got any other roles lined up? You
Hold
said
on.
something about
I,
Wixet Massifio,
Yeah,
and
let me just do. Hold on, you're coming in a little bit. Like your voice is sounding like underwater a little bit, Joe. So I don't know why.
okay, hold on. Let me check the audio here
I
again.
don't know what the problem is. You can
Yeah,
hear me good.
yeah, I can hear you really well. Yeah,
I could try to understand. It's just coming in crunchy, your
we,
voice. I apologize.
okay, that's okay.
Oh,
All right,
wait.
let me turn that off.
Yeah.
Is that any better?
Let's see. Hold on. I
Is
mean,
that
I got
any?
perfect settings. Just don't know what's going on here. Hold on. All right. You can hear me though, huh?
Yeah, I can hear you really
Okay.
well.
All
Am I
right. Well,
still?
let's yeah, kind of a little bit. We'll just go with it and see if it gets better. If not, I can call in and bring right back out. Okay. Come back in. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
you
better.
sound
Right? Yeah,
great
you're
on
better.
my.
You're better now.
Oh, okay.
You're
Um,
perfect.
so what you're going to be in Witsec Mafia with John Gotti Jr. and
Right. Well, here's the thing. Due to my legal stuff that everyone knows about, it's out there. I
right.
couldn't go. They shot. That's another thing. In Miami, they shot. My friends were out there. They went out to Miami for a week. They did an incredible job. They shot Witsec Mafia, like you said, with John A. Gotti Jr.
Mhm.
Incredible, incredible thing. And if I could have left the state, I would have definitely been involved. Excuse me. I would have definitely been
Uh,
involved, and I would have been out there. But like I said, he's got a lot of stuff coming up. So eventually we'll be involved in something between Gotti too. And there's a
right.
lot of things coming up. So it's just a matter of having the opportunity. You're not given
Yeah.
anything. You got an opportunity to try out. If you do good, then great. If you don't, then they're gonna do what they got to do.
Well, it
But
sounds really great. It sounds exciting. It's just a shame that you've got to go away to camp. You
yeah,
know.
well, like I said, it is what it is, and that's a whole nother story. I'll do it. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal, but it's
Yeah.
the main thing. Like when I had talked to you about when I said I was going to come on, I wanted to make sure I come on because it's all about positivity and how you look at stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody has a past. Everybody has done things they look back and say, I wish I didn't do it. I mean,
Right.
do I regret it? No, I don't, because it made me the man I am today. So I don't regret doing the things I did back in the day. And
Right.
it made me a stronger man. It made me a better person. And it made me get around good friends and people who
Yeah.
now, as you get older, your friends get less and less on maybe one hand, but they're
Yeah.
the real, they're the real deal. And if you guys stick together and do positive things, I mean, the sky's the limit. And I would have never said this 4 years ago, but I believe it more and more. And I mean, as
Right.
these projects
And
come up,
positive things
uh,
happen when you
right, and
surround
as these
yourself with positive. You told me that earlier. When you
exactly.
surround yourself with positive things happen.
And that's why I wanted
Um,
to make a point too with like all the, and I'm not mentioning names, but with all these shows, I get along with everybody. I do different shows that maybe people don't like
Let me ask you
that person
something.
or that person. Yeah, absolutely.
As a you're like a real guy, right?
What do you mean as
So
far as right?
what is your
Well, I mean, as far
what do
as
you
man,
think what do you think of the concept of mob tube, and what do you think about it? Because I, when I came into it, it wasn't. I know nothing about the mob at all.
right,
I mean,
right,
other
right,
than watching on TV.
right.
My thing was
Excuse me.
really review the mob shows. I enjoy listening to the stories. I sure
Of
do.
course, of
And
course.
they kind of break people's stories down, and then they're called liars and whatever, and
No,
then
yep.
people are backbiting back and forth. Um, I personally think, if this was on the street, half of this would be whacked. No, I mean, what do you
Oh,
think?
we're in a whole new way. First of all, we're in my. This is only my opinion, and like I said,
Yeah,
there's guys doing this stuff that were much higher than me at level, and there's guys out doing this stuff that were much lower than me. And all they can say
right,
is this, and this is only my opinion.
right,
And people are going to disagree with me, and people are going to hate on it, but I can only say in a gentleman way. What I don't agree
right,
with is I don't agree with certain people, and there's many of them. I'm not going to say certain names,
right,
but I
right,
don't agree with guys coming on the air saying I changed my life because I wanted to do it and I'm a better and all this stuff. And really, in the actuality, they didn't change their life. They were forced to change their life because they were
right.
facing a lot of time, and they for whatever reason they say they did. It's none of my business, but they became government informants and they got kicked
What
out
do
of
you
the
think
street.
about that? Do you think people, have a reason, or do you just agree with it altogether?
What I
Because
promote and
some
what
of
I
them
promote
come on
and
here.
no, no, and
Yeah,
I'm just telling you how I can. What I promote is this, okay? And thank God I was lucky enough to I promote if it's possible. See the writing on the wall. Don't wait till you're facing 30 years in prison and you got to put your friends away for life. Get out ahead of
right,
time. I don't understand. Like I said, well, I mean, I'm not going to get into my particular case, but in my case,
right,
I got to get a federal prison my first time in for the sports bookmaking. And
right.
my area just happened completely got saturated. It was just a lot of chain of events that happened and a lot of bad things happened in my area. And I just
Mm,
said, thank God at the time all this went down, I was on probation, so I couldn't go near nobody. So I was very
right.
lucky, and I'm not going to get into why, but I was very lucky not to go around people at the because in my time when in that time when I was on probation, a lot of things went down, and
Right.
I just said to myself, you know, the days of this craziness is over, and any real guy that looks in will tell you that. But I mean, you know what's funny is I know a lot of guys in federal prison, and I'm telling you, real guys and guys I was in prison with.
Mm,
Like I said, I'm not gonna people. I do some shows, so people, like I said, I only can tell my story. I'm never gonna give secrets of the mob. I don't know them. I'm never gonna give secrets of anything. I don't go on here and talk about this one or the structure of anything. I don't know it. I only could tell you my story and how I got picked up and the funny things that happened to me in jail. And to believe it or not, the great guys I met in jail. I mean,
yeah.
I met guys in jail, and I do shows. People can go on YouTube and see them. I mean, I met guys, men among men, and I wish them the best every day. And like guys like Vinny Basciano. I mean, these guys are. I mean, I met them, and I spent sometimes some people I spent 6 months with, other people I spent a month with, and I'm telling you, these guys that take these sentences, these 100-year sentences, I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, they don't make men like that no more. They really don't, and
Let
that's
me
what I
ask
think.
you something. Can I
Yeah,
ask you just a little bit
yeah,
about when you were in the life?
yeah,
Um, I've heard people, well, other, ex mobsters get up here and
hmm
say, that they didn't want to be made because it comes with it a lot of responsibility. You've got a crew, you've got to kick it
yeah,
up to the boss. You
yeah.
can't really make money. Is that
Right.
why were you never made? Did you not want to be, or
Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. When you're in that life, when you're around that life as a kid, we were around it since we were kids, and we knew getting made is like almost like getting a Heisman Trophy. I mean, in other words,
right,
to us, that was like we didn't care. We didn't even think about who we had. We didn't think of none of that. We just that was us getting that. If you're in a rock band, that was us getting the
prize?
contract.
Yeah,
That I mean, that was everything you looked up to. That's what you look forward to. And then at the end of the day, when you see different people that were in that life and are in that life, and they get sentenced to 100 years, and they say if we could ever do it again, we would have never got made, and other people get in other
right,
trouble say we would.
right,
Then you kind of really wake up and say, wow, am I so lucky that for whatever reason it didn't happen? Because
right.
and just I hope you know that a lot of great guys, Italian guys that are in prison right now, or all guys, but a lot of guys that are in prison that are solid guys that got are put in prison because a lot of these guys that are on the internet right now doing these shows, they listen to these
Yeah.
shows. I guess they can get YouTube, not announced to me, they can get YouTube in jail, and they love the shows. I mean,
Hi
they watch
guys.
who they got their favorites. Yeah,
Yeah,
that shout out to all the guys in all the federal prison that held it down, that are doing big time. You
yeah.
guys are the heroes. You guys are not nobody on YouTube. You guys are the heroes. So if you're listening, I hear they listen in Coleman, they listen in Raybrook, USP
Right.
Canaan, all the penitentiaries, all the guys. If you're listening right now, you guys are the heroes, and you
Yeah,
held it down, and you're the real men. And that's
yeah.
from me to
Keep your
you.
heads up. So
Keep your heads up.
I have a question for you. So when you were like, in the bookmaking thing,
Mhm.
what were the three top excuses people gave that they couldn't pay? That your favorite?
That's great. Well, if you do it right, if you do it right and you put people on a limit, you don't have many problems. But if you just
Oh,
let people run crazy, you're gonna have a lot of problems. But you
yeah.
know what it is? It's just nowadays it's a whole nother ball game. That's another thing. You call an 800 number in Costa Rica, you can't get robbed. You can't get pass posted. You can't screw. They can't screw up the lines, and you get killed on a line. From when I
Right.
was doing it back in all through the 90s up through 2000, 2005, probably
Right.
20 years strong. And I caught several pinches for bookmaking,
Did,
and everyone knows
did
about
you
it.
have a favorite excuse though? Like my wife got run over, or
No,
you know,
you hear it all. I mean, you hear it all. But I mean, a lot of times it's too bad because what happened was a guy would bet through you, and then he'd be betting through 6 or 7 more other bookmakers. So when he lost, he didn't just lose to you; he lost to 5 or 6 other guys. And like I said,
oh,
anybody that knows it's in that business, as long as there's no violence, it's a nothing thing. I mean, look at now, all over the
right,
country, sports betting is legal, except for, of course, where I'm from, Massachusetts is one of the last ones. And that's what
right,
brought me in.
right,
Not getting into too much. That's what brought me in my particular case now, because I was a felon, sports bookmaking with no violence, and I was a felon. So, like I said, that brought me into my little thing that I'm going through now. But like I said, that'll be all set. It'll be settled next month. And but like I said,
Are
it's a
you
whole
worried
nother
about
era
it?
now.
Are you worried about going back in or oh we lost Chicky for a second, so he'll be back in a minute. Anyway, so I'll go to the chat for really quick while we wait for Chicky. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what. Yeah,
That's all
I
right.
don't know what happened. Yeah, what are some of the questions? I can't read them that close.
No, this is Al, the straight talker. He has a channel. He says hi, Josie and Chicky and all.
Oh, how are you? How you
And
guys?
also
How you doing?
Al's channel. Yeah, Al has his own little channel. Teresa Murphy says Chicky.
Oh yeah, she's a good person. I see her in a lot of the different shows. She's a good sweetheart.
Yeah, and
Oh,
VF says Chicky.
yeah, you guys.
Um,
Let me tell you. That's another thing I want to say. If you mind me saying it, like in yours, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I watch all you guys. I watch you. There's a lot of. I got a lot of people I watch, and they're all good people, and I love they're got great chats. And I know, and
right.
that's the thing I wanted to bring up. I know some people don't like talking to you. You don't talk to somebody you did, and everybody's got their own thing. But I'll tell you the truth. You all got your own niche that you bring to the table, and hopefully someday, a lot of this craziness will pass, and everybody can probably get back together in some shape because you all do bring your own little thing to the table that's really really good, and that's
Yeah.
what I just want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of move away from all that now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
I
everybody
just
got to do
feel
their
like,
thing and just
oh
stop. Yeah,
God, every
there's a
day,
lot of great channels out there.
well, things change here by the hour,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God. And then you wake up to a million text messages, emails.
I know.
Did you
I know.
see
I
this?
know.
Did you see that? I no longer care.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, oh God, let me just get on with what I want to do. Okay, the
Right.
truth, Josie, Al, the Westies.
Oh, the
Uh,
Westies. Yeah. The matter of fact, the Westies are. When I told you we did the movie The Flanagans in
yeah,
2019 in under the Whitestone Bridge in Queens, New York, that's what the Irish guys that were playing the Westies, and the Westies. The show was kind of like a thing of the Westies and the Gambinos back in the 80s. That's what was the show
right,
was based on. So
right.
you know, the family that played the Westie were the Flanagans, and that
Oh,
was the family that played the Westies. And a lot of my friends from my area, great actors. I mean, never acted before in their life. They're
yeah.
incredible actors. And if this movie gets released, you're gonna see some acting that you can't even believe for guys that never did it before. Incredible
Wow.
acting, and
Yeah,
they were the Westies.
that's usually the best way to go because a lot of these actors, I think what's his name, Al Pacino, and several
Right,
of them, they do that. They go to class for method acting when really it's
right,
just you being you. You know what
right,
I mean?
exactly. And that's why, if I
Yeah.
don't want to forget, I got a very exciting announcement coming up. My friend, a couple of my dear friends, they had just wrote about a year ago. They wrote a great organized crime drama based right near in my city where I am. It's called Hungry Hill. It's a section of
Oh, that's
Springfield,
right.
Western
That's
Mass.
Damien, isn't it? Isn't Damien
Yes,
working on that?
Damien and Brian Hoyle wrote it. And just to make good announcement, they just got funded. They were gonna do it into a
Right.
docu series, and they just got funded to make it a full blown movie. So that's
Oh,
another huge
that's
positive
great.
thing.
Well done, Damien. We haven't seen
Yes,
him around, but
no, he's doing good. He's working on the script,
really
and
good.
he did the best thing. He took some time off of YouTube and
Yeah,
just just put his
yeah,
heart and soul into this project with Brian Hoyle. So things are going
right.
great, and it's just like it's all about being positive. And if you get caught up with all this craziness on the internet of who's talking about who's fighting with who, oh, did you hear this? You hear
Yeah,
that? You're gonna drive yourself crazy. So I'm just trying to look forward.
yeah,
Like I said, this movie was a huge thing, and I can tell you more about the movie, exactly what the scene was later on. But it's all
right.
about positivity. I just want to get through this little hump next month, and then
Yeah.
probably within a couple of months I'll go in and like I said, we'll see what happens. Like I said,
So
it's not a minimum
really,
mandatory. It's
I wanted to ask you. So, like, hi, David S. Cameron. He said, "Hey, folks, Josie and Chicky. David's from
hey,
England."
hey, Dave.
Now, okay, so when you go in,
Yep.
I mean, I've had friends that do federal time also, and
Yep.
most of them say they don't want to do the parole. They'd rather just do the time
You
and
do
get
it.
the
Yeah,
hell.
you do almost 85%. Well, federal, you do almost 85%. They'll give you maybe a like they'll give you a little halfway house time, but you're going to do almost 85% federal.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
going to do the time and then don't have to bother like with probation and all that crap?
Oh
Or are you
no, no,
just,
you're gonna get no. You're gonna have to afterwards. You'll get probation, usually 2, 3 years probation, depending.
oh God.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's a it's a big
Yeah.
deal. I mean, as far
Yeah.
as that, and like I said, I'm a self report. So when they sentence you, they usually they self report to a federal penitentiary within usually 30 days.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's so funny. See, in England, when they sentence you, you're gone. You don't. They don't tell you,
Oh,
hey,
right there, in the
right,
court, you leave that day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they do it different
you know,
here. As long as you're a self-report, and you're not, like a lot of times if it's something like a violence or something, they won't even
yeah,
let you out on bond. You're just going to stay there until you go.
right, right. Oh
But
my God.
something like this with there's something that has no violence and it's just like that. They always have a bond. Federal gives you a bond.
Right. So are you a little bit worried about going in, or you know everybody?
No, no. I mean, like I said, I'm by no means am I. But I've done, I've done different stints in time. I've been in
Right.
federal. I mean, I was in MCC Manhattan, and that joint there. Anybody that goes there will tell you it's a heavy hitter joint. I was in MCC Manhattan. I mean, I'm sorry, MCC Manhattan. I was in Canaan in Waymar, Pennsylvania, USP Canaan, and them
Right.
joints are some heavy hitter joints. And I go in. It's like I tell people on the street, if you go in
Yeah.
there humble and you just mind your business and you get in with some good people, and like I
Yeah.
said, you get along fine. There's enough wise guys. Enough. What I mean is, there's enough like troublemakers in there. If they want trouble, they're gonna find it. But if you just go in and be a gentleman and you mind your business and respect people like you want to be respected, you get. I
Right.
mean, you go right in, and you'll get your little routine
So do you
working out.
know?
Eating
Do you
healthy.
know where you're going to? Do
No,
you
not
know?
yet, not yet.
Oh,
No, they
okay.
usually
Just
keep
tell me
you.
when
They
you're
usually
going.
keep you. Federal, U.S. federal usually keeps you within 500-600 miles of your home. That's what they usually do. But who
Oh,
knows?
okay. Yeah,
Who knows?
because in England, what they do, they move you around, but they do it on purpose.
Yeah,
You know what I
diesel
mean? They don't
therapy,
put you all
diesel
over the
therapy,
place.
diesel
Yeah, it's
therapy.
annoying. What
Yeah,
did you say?
they call it diesel therapy. They'll put you on a bus and they'll move you from one
Yeah,
prison to another, and you ain't even got time to
yeah,
get commissary. You're gone before it's really, really a
yeah.
tough way
It's
to,
terrible. I think that's a horrible thing to do to people.
horrible.
Yeah. So, what are some of your stories? Have you got any funny stories from when you
Uh,
were in the life?
yeah. There's so many. Like I said, see me, I was always the guy like, call Chicky, let's go out to dinner. We're gonna laugh all night, and it's funny because that translates to prison. The same thing. Like I told a story before, but it's a funny story to tell. But I'll
Right,
tell you a story. So I was in MCC Manhattan for only about 2 months on 11 South. It was one of the things, and I tell it to everybody. It's just what I'm saying is who you meet when you go to prison. It's incredible. So
right,
I go in there, and people feel you out in the beginning, and they're feeling you out, but people gravitate towards you. They figure out who it is and what's going on, and
right,
hey, who you're friends with, and who's this, and who they figure it out. They're sharp. So a
right.
funny story is, so anyways, I go into I'm only in there a couple of days, and this guy, real great presence, comes around me and he comes right up to me and he says, "Hey, listen, what's your name?" I introduce, "Where you from?" I go, "New England, you Springfield, Boston area." "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And
Right.
he shoots the shit with you, and he says to me, "Well, it's nice to meet you." And all he said to me, he goes, "It's nice to meet you." He goes, I go, "What's your name?" He goes, "I'm Vinny. I'm Vinny from the Bronx." I go, "Hey, nice to meet you, Vinny." So
Mm,
make a long story short, a couple of days go by, and he's getting now. It takes a little while to get commissary. Once you get in there, it's a week or so before you get it, and you get it. And he's giving me tunas, and so take it, take it. He goes, "No," I go, "All right, I got you Tuesday when commissary. Don't worry about it." And he's laughing. And
yeah.
at night they we were playing pinochle, and they used to call, like, we were in the same dorm but different spots to like where you sleep. So he'd
Right.
call up, "Hey, Chicky, where's Chicky? Tell that kid to come up here." And I'd come up there and be laughing with him. And
Right.
so, make a long story short, a couple of days go by. I still don't know who the guy is. I mean, the guy's a straight out gentleman. So,
Yeah.
funny story. So, another guy comes up to me, a guy from New York, and he says, "Do you know why does that guy like you so much?" I go, "Guy's a gentleman of a guy. I don't know. I just hit it off with him." He goes, "You know who that is?" He goes, "You know who that is?" I go, "No." He goes, "That's the boss." I go, "Boss? What boss?" He goes, "That's Vinny Gorgeous." He goes, "That's Vinny Basciano, right?"
Oh, get out.
Yeah, the allegedly, the acting boss of Bonanno family. And it
Yeah.
comes out. It comes out after he told me the story about how Joe Mazzina, the boss of the Bonanno wore a wire on him on the top of the MCC Manhattan roof where they do rec, right?
Right. Right.
Actually wore a wire. They let the boss of a family wear a wire on his protege, you know.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, so so I said, well, listen, it don't matter to me. Guy's a straight out gentleman, no matter what. So I got to,
Yeah.
funny guy. I mean, I never seen a guy in my life do better time than that guy. I mean, just
Yeah.
he's out on the roof. He's tan, and you can go. Anybody can go on the internet and pull up any of his pictures. He's tan. Guy looks like he's been in the worst prisons in the country, ADX,
Yeah.
Colorado. The guy looks
Yeah.
like he's in Aruba. If you ever see him, a smile ear to ear, he's like an Aruba. And
Oh, wow.
it just goes to show you that like that him and these guys are the last of the Mohegans that take sentences like that and just go in and I mean,
Yeah.
what an honor to be with him for a couple. And it was only a couple months, but what an honor to meet that guy. And I met a
Yeah.
lot of good guys. I met all the Albanian guys from the Bronx, Alex Rudai and all them guys. And kudos to them, Alex. I guess I heard he went back to court and he got like 10 or 15 years taken off his sentence through some technicality, which God bless him. He'll be home in a few years. They
Wow.
ended up back
Yeah.
in 2005, 6, 7, right around there. They got 300, something like 387 months, which is essentially 38 years. And so he's done that much time since 2004, 5, and now he got like 10
Wow.
years and 15. Yeah. So he'll be home
Yeah.
shortly, and thank God, let him go home to his family. And
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah.
all these guys, they're sitting in there, and if they can hear it right now, if you
Yeah.
got court cases pending, I hope you beat it somehow. You guys should be home with your family and just keep your head up. You guys are heroes, and I know you can go on here and listen to shows, but you guys,
Yeah.
you're all over the internet. You guys are heroes. People are a lot of people are really proud of you guys. So just keep your head up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you don't want to
Yeah.
see nobody like that in a cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, it's terrible. They have no proof. They have no nothing on these guys other than informants putting them away. That's all. Some of the proof is only informants' word, and that's a real shame. That's a real shame that that can go on in this day and age. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor
Okay. I'll go to a bit of the
there.
chat. Anyone got
Yeah,
any questions for
yeah,
Chicky? My
anything.
first
And I'll
one
tell you
says,
about the movie more about the movie after.
"Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, well, Chicky's a great guest.
Yeah,
Yes, he
there's
has a
Mob
lot
Rats
of
one. They
stuff.
got they're good. They got a hell of a channel. They got good
Right.
Instagram. They're right on top of stuff. Them guys, right on
Right.
top of stuff.
Yeah. So you've already shot the movie, then
Yes, we shot them. It ended. Now you got to keep in mind the movie was it was about a 30-day shoot, but I was only on set 2 days. My scene was one full day, 12 hours, but actually on
okay.
camera only about to an hour. But
Right.
what's crazy is I went, like I said, from the beginning thinking I was just going to be in the audience and they passed by me to actually
Right.
having a lead role talk with James Matteo, the guy playing Willie Pep, actually on screen, a one-on-one, maybe 25-second conversation with the lead role. So when it's in the movies or it's in Netflix or wherever it goes, you're going to
Right.
actually see me. And what was so cool is
Yeah.
um, he does a certain scene where he's talking to reporters with all the like 1950s camera. It's all
Right.
set back
Right.
in the
Yeah.
50s. And he turns around and one of the, I ain't going to get into it, so you have to see it, but he turns
Right.
around and says a question to me as he's fooling around punching me in the stomach, with his gloves on, because he's going out
Right.
to fight his 226 fight. And what's
Yeah.
funny is he calls me my name. Usually in a movie you got a fake name like Jimmy or whatever. He says,
Right.
I said, what name you want to call me? He goes, we'll just use Chicky. Why not? Nobody knows what the name, so call it Chicky. So he turns around and he goes, hey Chicky, what do you think? And he says it. And of course I come back with my thing. And then my
Right.
friend Brian, who was going to be also another guy who just happened to be there, they give him a lead role. He plays the guy that walks, the manager that walks Willie Pep out to the ring for his last fight.
Right.
And he
Right.
comes in with that graspy voice. He goes, okay, gentlemen, it's time to make the walk. And this is on the actual, we had to do it 6 times in a row to make sure I got it
Yeah, I
right.
was going to ask that. Did you have a lot of takes?
Yeah, and we had no script because it was off the cuff. He goes,
Right.
this is what he said to me.
Oh, you went out. Oh, okay. I think he's okay. All right. I guess Chicky went out. We'll see if he comes back in.
Hello? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hello?
hear you.
Okay, I
Yeah.
went out. I'm good. But anyways, he says, I'm going to ask you a question. You just answer it however you want. I said, you sure? He goes, yeah. He turns around. He punches me in the stomach. He goes, hey, Chicky, blah, 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 blah. He says the question. I answer him with about 4 or 5 lines. He laughs, and then he says, cut. And then he says to me, you know how you just said that? He goes, yeah. He goes, can you do it 5 more times? I go, yeah. He boom, he did the same thing just to get the exact perfect thing. So I end up
Right.
doing it 5 more times, and the director says, print it, we got it. So it's incredible how it went down and how you're gonna see it. And what's funny is I'm a big guy. I'm
Yeah.
5'10". I'm a big guy. In
Yeah.
high 200s. I've always been a big guy. So
Right.
compared to him, James Madio's like 5'4", maybe a buck 35, but that's Willie Pep. So when
Yeah.
you see me behind them, it's like you can see why I'm kind of, I don't want to say a bodyguard, but
Yeah.
Willie Pep in real life was known to hang around with real serious New England gangsters. I mean
Oh,
that's what he was always around different ones in Hartford,
right.
especially in New Haven. So it's
Right.
a real funny thing that I would play that part. And it turned out wonderful. I mean, they were very happy with it, very
So
happy, and I just can't wait.
when it was all said and done, did they let you watch the whole movie or no?
Oh no, that didn't even at that point yet. They got
Oh,
now it's at the point where the whole movie's done
yeah.
and they did every scene, but now they go into it's called pre-production, their production. They cut it
Right.
up, they put music, they put it all nicely, and then when they
Edit it. Yeah.
finally right,
Yeah.
like Witsec Mafia, my friends
Yeah.
that were in that, sometime in the summer, I probably won't be here, I'll be away, but sometime in the
Right.
summer they're gonna go to New York and they're gonna go to a screening of Witsec Mafia, and they're
Oh,
in
okay.
it, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
then I don't know, it's like I said, it'll be released. I mean, knowing John A. Jr., Gotti, it's going to be released to a huge network. I don't know which one. I can't even guess, but he's
Right.
real smart when it comes to that stuff, and it's going to be a real big deal when it does come
It
out. It's
sounds like a
incredible. A lot of people are waiting for it.
yeah, I love
What's up?
boxing. So, I
What's
like
that?
boxing.
Yeah,
I said I
it's
like
going to be.
boxing, so I like boxing movies.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not a
Yeah.
movie. It's more of a doc. It's not a. Woodstock is not a movie. It's more of
No, not
a
Whitsack.
docu
Yeah,
series, right? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Willie Pep one. But
Got it.
Whitsack Mafia is about what? Mafia informants that are living under
It's
the
about yeah. It's about they've got right now from what I heard. I don't know how many they're going to display the first season or whatever, but they roughly got about 30 different people. That what it is these informants that they go in, they testify against people, put them away because like I said, because the trophy they're weighing in their hand is bigger than them. They go in and they put these guys away, and then their handlers just kind of let them get back together and do like Sammy the Bull, 19 murders, does 4 years, forgiven for everything. He comes out, bang. What does
right.
he do? He goes right into an ecstasy ring. Whatever how he says it, he did it, still does it. I mean, and so it's going to be about how guys now. It's like I said, it's not going to be guys that came out, did that, and then changed their life, and you never heard from them again. They went, they became better fathers, they moved out. They just don't want to know. It's going to be guys that like, a lot of them
Just
are on
can't
YouTube,
get
and
bad
yeah,
again.
yeah, a lot of them
Yeah,
are doing, a lot of them are on YouTube, and they're doing shows, and they're saying, and they're acting completely like they're still in that life, and it is what it is. Like I said, but
yeah,
it's going to be good. It's going to be good, and it's going to explain to the public a lot of things and how things work, and it should be really
yeah.
interesting. I think it's going to be
Well, I think
good.
it's interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting, and that's why because in England we just see, documentaries and whatever, and we're kind of like looking at it and we're believing everything. There's no reason why we wouldn't. But I think it's been interesting that some of them do get on here and tell some porky pies lies,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kind of booster themselves up. And then you've got others that appear more humble and seem, you
yeah.
know,
I mean, for whatever reason they
you
did it.
do.
I mean, they
It's a
go on
mixed
with their
bag.
life, and that's
Yeah,
fine. Whatever. That's their
yeah,
business.
yeah. But what do you think about the we push back thing that Dominic Crea, his father's doing a long time now,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Listen,
something that he
listen.
didn't do?
Is that and is that the same thing as like there's another thing too that's out there that anything that's trying to help these guys get out and re-give
Yeah,
them some chance, and then they have the other one there that I'm trying to think of the great lawyer. They take certain cases. There's another one in New York.
Yeah, I
United
know.
takes certain cases. Is
Yeah,
that
I
part
don't
of
know
that?
about the other one, but Dominic
Okay.
Fury has started like a we. It's called a
Yes,
we
I
push
know.
back,
I know. I mean, I know him from doing shows, and
and I
he come
thought it
on and
was.
he's in.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that
Yes,
you know, as a juror, just a person off the street,
right.
you don't know the tactics that these people do. They're very sneaky, aren't they? You know
It's
what I mean? The way they,
amazing. It's amazing. Like you
I
said,
I was shocked. I was like, oh my god,
and the average
even
Joe,
the
the
way
average
they
Joe Schmo
do it.
doesn't know that. They have no. They're saying it cannot happen like that, and it does happen like that, but they just don't know it. You
Right.
know?
It's like I was kind of shocked because I
Yeah,
thought, oh, they just pick you, you go in there, you listen, but the tactics that they do,
it's
to
amazing.
um,
Yeah,
you know, convict
but
somebody, and it's out of order. It's terrible. I'm like, oh
unbelievable. It's just like I said, and it's a crazy world. But like I said, as far as me personally,
yeah,
I'm telling my story, and I'm not like I said. You'll never see me on YouTube giving out any secrets. You'll never see me on YouTube talking about people that are alive that are still in the life. It'll never happen. All I'm saying is the
right,
fun. I mean, what I went through, the fun I had in that life, the great people I was around. That a lot of them are no
yeah,
longer with us, and that
right,
hey, the end of the day, you can change. I mean, I'm a perfect example. I'm not perfect. I mean, I got a lot of things that I'm trying to still improve. I got two great daughters that are married. I got two beautiful
right,
grandchildren, a grandson, a grand.
yeah.
So it's
It's
all
nice.
about the future and being around positive people. And I'm telling you, um, I'm far from perfect, but if you're around positive people and you're going in the right direction, your life will change. It'll change
Did
right in
you
front of you. You won't even realize it.
did you ever worry about maybe somebody trying to kill you? Did anybody ever
No,
try to kill you? No.
no, no, nothing like that. I was never. I mean, listen, I was never. Like I said, it was a different era. I was involved in sports bookmaking. Nobody's
Oh,
looking to kill you. It's just I wasn't that. Like I said in a lot of shows, if there had to be some real violence, they weren't calling me. They were calling me after to go get dinner and laugh about it. They weren't calling me
oh,
to. But I mean, did I have a lot of friends in my life that if anything happened, I'd be right there. Of course, they know it. But like I
yeah.
said, I never was involved in the craziness and all that. I was never that
Oh, okay.
guy. I was never
Yeah,
that guy, and I'm proud to say that. And
yeah.
but like I said, people that know me, they'll know it is what it is. But no, I never worried about that. There was nothing. I mean, I always was a straight shooter, and
Right.
I did what I had to do as far as if I was doing the sports, I did it, and I always did it for good, and nobody had to worry about as far as anything with me. I just was honest, and I never had a problem. So I can't really
Did
say I
they
ever had
ever
a
try to
problem.
flip you though? Did they ever offer you that, or did they try
Well,
and get
that's a
you?
whole nother story. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. I mean, yeah, I was pretty
Yeah,
close,
because
but
you
then
never
a
did.
series of
I just
events happened, and looking back now, I'm blessed that it happened that way because it would
right,
have been, I'm glad that I didn't get to that level. I'm really glad I
right.
didn't. Looking back now and seeing a lot of good guys that are in jail doing these crazy sentences, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
like I said, but that's a whole nother thing.
Right. Well, Mobats one said if they really wanted to change, they wouldn't be on YouTube telling lies like the lying reds
Exactly,
they
exactly. Like I said, it's got nothing. If they're on YouTube telling about specific things or how they're changing or what good things they got in the future,
Yeah.
hey, kudos to them. Great, if that's what they want to do. But I mean, I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, I'm not an advocate for like and people say, well, you're on YouTube, yeah, but I'm not on YouTube talking about that stuff. Yeah, okay. I talked about things I was convicted of and that I pleaded
Right.
guilty to. I talk about that. And I'm talking about
Right.
positive stuff in the movie business I got in the future and
Yeah.
who I'm aligning myself
I think
with
it's
to
great.
do
Yeah.
positive things. So that's all I'm doing.
Right. And Don Vito, what is that? Cassia Ferro says it's kangaroo court in America.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah. Well, it certainly opened my eyes, I must say.
And another thing in America, I hope you guys all know this, and I'm sure you do. Anybody with any smarts, that famous saying, "You're innocent till proven guilty." That's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
in America, you're guilty till proven innocent. That's a fact. And there's
Right.
plenty of people in jail right now that for whatever reason they can't they don't have bail money. They can't get bond. They won't give them bond for whatever reason, and they're sitting in jail and they
Yeah.
didn't even have their day in court yet. And some of them been in jail 4 or 5 years waiting to go to trial. And
Well, you
how are
know
you?
what?
Hmm,
That's the difference between America and England. Now in England, when you get arrested, if they don't want to give you bail, there's a specific prisons that they send you to, like
Yeah.
Pentonville, Wildwood, Scrubs, Brixton.
Yeah.
And so let's say your trial takes, I don't know, a year, two. Sometimes
Hmm.
it takes a while.
Hmm.
They're allowed to wear their own clothes. They're allowed privileges, but they kind of say it as if they're treating them better because they haven't been proven guilty of
Right.
anything.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Um, when they do go to court, obviously, if they are convicted, then that time they spent is taken off as well. But we don't have really like jails the
Right.
way
Right.
you know what I mean?
In America, yeah, it's a lot different here. And like I said, there's so many guys probably listening to the show right now that are like out there, and they just, if you look at their case, you're like, how did this guy get convicted? It's terrible. So, like I
Right.
said, I don't mean to overdo it, but I just, like I said, there's guys out there, shots out to guys out there that are, that
Yeah.
got
Hi
guilty.
guys.
And, yeah, and they got guilty for whatever reason. If you really look at their case, it's really a shame how
Yeah.
informants put them in jail. And some of them are only on the word of the informants that they get, a life in prison. And it's just a
You know
real
what I
shame.
don't
And
understand though? I mean, like if they're very quick to they convict you, they put you in prison.
mhm.
Now, when they find out that you're innocent, it takes them bloody years to get you out. Why
Yeah,
don't they just
yeah,
let you out?
yeah.
You
And
have
how
to go
and
through
and,
this and that.
and
I
how
was
about
like,
the and how about all the I'll give you an example of that in a minute, but how about all the years that you lost? How about all
right,
the
that's
years that you
it.
lost of what? Okay, when you get out, you shouldn't have to worry about where you're going to go live. You should have some kind of settlement where no, there's a I mean there was a case in in my area, Boston, where a guy,
Yeah,
a very well known guy, a gentleman of a guy, he's passed now. Uh,
right.
he was in prison for roughly 30 years. Okay, and
Good God.
a guy out of Boston, okay, an older type guy, gentleman, known throughout the North End Italian section of Boston. A guy's name was Limoni, Peter Limoni,
Right.
sweetheart of a guy, gentleman, old school gentleman, and he ended up doing 30 years in prison, 30 years in prison because I'm not exactly the particulars, but Whitey Bulger had accused him and another couple guys of doing something that he did. Like, in other words, they were accused of a
Yeah,
murder they didn't even do. So after
right.
roughly 30 years in prison, they let him out of prison, and he won. He did win a huge settlement from Massachusetts, of millions and millions of dollars, but 30 years of his life, and he
Wow.
100% shouldn't have been there for one day. Never mind 30
No.
years. Now, do you
Mm-mm.
know how many? That's only that case in Boston I know about. Do you know how many cases in the whole United States there are guys like that did these kind of time, and they came out after, like, the DNA, better DNA, they got off?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, what pisses me off about it is, okay, once you've got the DNA results, why they just can't let them out? It takes like another year,
It's
or another
crazy.
two. It's insane,
Right,
if you
right.
know that they're innocent. And then,
Exactly.
if you've done freaking 30 years, by the time you go, well, depends what age you were when you went
Right,
in.
right, right, right.
There's enough money to
Yeah.
compensate for that.
But if you go in your 40s and you get out in your 70s, I mean, Jesus, figure that
Exactly. I
out.
mean,
It's
life's over, isn't it?
ridiculous. You know?
Anyway, Don Vito says the RICO Act would be illegal here in Europe. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Um, well, kind of, Don Vito. We've kind of got a RICO Act. They call it conspiracy,
yeah.
and
Well,
they
that's RICO. We
use
got the RICO Act. That's from Giuliani. We got the RICO. That's what really,
yeah,
really destroyed.
and
I mean, the 80s, it put
wrap
away guys for
everybody up.
100 years.
Yeah, like with conspiracy in England, they can
Yeah,
attach that to anything. So it is
that's the
kind of like
RICO
a
Act. Yeah.
RICO. You know what I mean? But
They're attaching RICO now, not only to organized crime, they're attaching it to gang guys now and all different stuff. They're attaching it in every realm now.
right. And then Josie says issues too many people take deals and they don't fight the case.
Exactly. And you know what a big part of that is? A lot of people ain't got the money for lawyers. A lot of people don't
Right,
have the money for lawyers, and they got to take deals
right,
because they're afraid if they go to court, they're going to
right.
get double the time where if they just taken it, and they know they're innocent, but they have no choice. And
Yeah,
that's a
Josie said
sad state of affairs.
what we were talking about earlier when you were talking about that lawyer, it's called the Innocence Project.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
yeah.
Right.
I've seen a few of those on
Yep.
the documentary. It
Well, our
is
friend, our friend, Mike, our friend, Code of the Streets, right? which is a friend
Yeah,
of
yeah,
yours and mine. Great guy. I hope he's listening now. He's a wonderful guy.
yeah,
He's in
yeah.
Philadelphia, and here's a guy that went and did his time, came out. He helps kids. That's a true guy right there, Mike.
Oh
And
yeah,
good friend
yeah.
of mine. And let me tell you something
Yeah,
about that kid. He's involved.
yeah.
The Innocent Project is working to get his friend out, who's been in for like 20 something years,
Oh
working to
my
get him a
God,
new trial to get him out. So that's the project I was talking about.
that's great. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Mike, and go to Mike's channel. It's called the Code of the Streets,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
got a metal clothing line, I
yeah.
believe.
Omerta
I
Clay,
think
the real Omerta Clay clothing line.
yes, I know there was something about that. No, I
Yeah,
keep
yeah, yeah. He'll
mixing them up
straighten it
with
out.
Ghana. Ghana has a clothing line too. I forget what that's called,
Yeah,
but
right,
I
right.
don't want to mix them up. You know. Hi, Grambino. And then somebody said, "Yeah, like Dominic's dad."
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
he's in there a long time. I'm assuming. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but
Right,
when he was explaining, how juries are picked, the crap that they do, it's almost like a production, really.
right, right.
When you
I mean,
think
there's so
about it,
many. There's like I said, I keep bringing it up because it really is unbelievable. Like there's so many guys that are just in prison, rotting away for things that they have really no case against them, but just because of different words of informants, they're in jail. Like another shout out to Stevie Akria, that whole guys, all
yeah,
them guys, they're in there, been in there for a long time. They're in their later years of life. Come on. These guys should get a
yeah,
new trial and go back to trial. I mean, these guys should be on the street with their family. It's disgusting what's going on with these guys.
right.
I mean, it's
Yeah, Don
disgusting what
Vito
they're being
says,
put through at their age.
right. Don
You
Vito
know,
says the process would be illegal. RICO Act in America has 99% conviction rate,
of
which
course,
is
yeah,
astounding. And that
yeah,
would definitely be scrutinized. And things that the FBI do and what the RICO Act allows wouldn't be allowed in Europe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just look at. I won't get into too much, but let's just look at Greg Scarpa. Look what he was doing. What they were letting him get away with. Look at Whitey Bulger. Well, look what they were letting him get away with. I mean,
Wiley Bolger was amazing. I was shocked at that one. You
well, the
know,
kid allegedly, my friend, and like I said, the reason I'm saying it is because he's been in the hole in Hazelton, West Virginia for over 3 years. Fred G is good. He grew
right.
up with me. He literally lives, a few miles away from me. Uh, hung around with him a lot, him and his brother, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
He's been in the hole for over 3 years, and the BOP hasn't even charged him yet. If you're not going to charge him, which
Oh
after
my
3 years,
God.
let him out of the hole. Put him back in population, or why would you keep him without charging him?
I think they
So
like to torture people, don't they?
yeah. So like I
You know,
said, there's so many guys out there that are just going through. And another allegedly guy that hopefully he got out of trouble with. Another alleged guy that was in trouble due to that case that they had in the hole too was a kid named Paulie DiColangelo, and all them guys there. I wish them the best. Get them guys out of the
right.
hole if they're not already out of the hole. They don't
Yeah.
deserve to sit like animals like that.
No, I think it's a disgrace.
Nah, they
Somebody
should be
said
out of the hole.
Dominic's dad is in prison for life because of the words of lying informants, and two of them are on YouTube. Is
Yep.
that right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
You're kidding me. Oh
But
wow.
mhm.
Oh wow. Well, anyway, we've been on a close to an hour,
All right.
so we'll wrap it up. If
Great.
unless anyone any more
Yeah. Any other
questions,
questions would be great. You know.
Chicky, let me see. Um, oh, hang on. Let's see. Anyone got? No, I'm not seeing any questions. I'm just
That's all right.
seeing
And
time
I
or
want to
whatever.
say, like I said, when we had talked about me coming on, and I come on shows, and like I
Yeah,
said, I hope someday, I'll be
yeah,
honest
I
with you, and I'll say it
appreciate
right
it.
out. I hope someday that because like I said, there's a lot of good content creators out there, and I get along with a lot of them, and some of them I won't, some of them I won't go on their show. I won't even give them a shot to even talk to me. But
Right.
not that I'm interesting or nothing, but there are a lot of I do go on their show and I talk to them, and I've done their show in the past, and they're great people, and I just hope someday all this craziness can get hashed out with who don't like who don't like that one, this one don't like that one, because at the end of the day, you're all bringing something to the table, and I just want to say that
Yeah,
because
I think a
you
lot
know,
of it
you
is
know,
competition, and people are, I
yeah,
guess money involved. I think when you're doing it as a business, then you take it differently, as if,
yeah,
like, for example, I don't
right,
do this to pay my rent or anything. You know what I mean? So it's kind of taken differently, and some people there's a lot of competitive stuff going on.
Right.
But I'm kind of moving away from that. I'm going to the next month on the 27th. I'm going to Jamaica for the
Oh,
week, so
good.
I'm going to bring everybody with me.
Good, good. But I want
Yeah.
to thank you. I want to thank you and your audience, your chat for
Yes.
listening to me.
Thank
I
you.
hope I
I
made you
really
laugh a
appreciate it.
little.
Yeah, I
And
really appreciate you coming on.
I'll let you know what's going on. April 22nd, I go to Boston for sentencing. I'll let you know what's going on there,
Oh yeah, too.
and
And
I'll
keep in
keep you
touch.
updated. Yeah, I'll keep you
Yeah.
updated on the movie, what's going on, and when it's coming out and everything. I'll keep, and what I'll do is maybe I'll definitely I'll call you and I'll tell you where
Yeah.
I'm going, and maybe I can call in on your show where I am sometime
Oh
and talk
sure.
to you over live. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm keeping
Yeah.
my fingers crossed for you, Chicky.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
know,
I'll
I
be
might
either way.
give
I'll
you
be
a couple of
fine.
months, maybe. Maybe
I
it might not
appreciate it.
be as bad as you think. You know what I mean? Maybe,
Right, right. I'll hear you. But
maybe. But
well,
yeah, I
listen.
wish you the best.
I appreciate having me, and everyone, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll do this again sometime. And I wish
Yeah, it was
everybody the
great.
best. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Take
right.
care, Chick. I'll
Thank you,
talk to you
Josie.
soon.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Okay. Ciao. Okay. Let me get out of here. Okay. Okay, people. So that was it. That was quite pleasant. It was. He's got some interesting stories, and I'm happy. Looking forward to seeing the movie. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll see you all probably close to the weekend. I think we'll do Josie's weekly roundup. We'll talk about what's going on in the week, and Lee's got his big interview coming up. I forget when they're going to do that, but I guess they'll announce it, and we'll talk about some of the things that have gone on during the week. There's been quite a little bit, but so I'll see you all probably Friday or Saturday. I'm not 100%. I'll drop a trailer and let you all know. So everybody, good night. Have a good one. See you later.